Chapter 1.
This is the RVG podcast.
I don't know. I never know how to start these bloody things.
Would you like me to start it then?
Yes, you start. You start, Mr. Yak.
What's the name of the podcast again?
It's the RVG podcast, Retro Video Gamer Podcast.
Good evening, and welcome to the first episode of the second season of the Retro Video Gamer Podcast with me, Arnold, and him, Carl. Riding a bike, and it's impossible.
Ninja Scooter Simulator as well.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what happens, but it involves a ninja.
The world of the budget label. They made some really good stuff, actually. Kronos and things like that.
The Mastertronic series. Fantastic.
Oh, yes. Yes, very much so. Although they made some crap as well. There was a game called Whodunit. It was just, I could never figure it out. It was like Cluedo, I guess. That's one of my first games because I like the cover.
Well, most of the games that I had were hand-me-downs, really, so I have no idea how much they cost. However, in the year 2000, in Wigan, there used to be a stand in Wigan Market called The Cage, and it literally was a cage built into the market. And it looked really cool. You could see it from all the way at the other side of the market. And it sold Amstrad CPC games for 99 pence each. It had a big cardboard box full of them, and I wish that I'd just bought them all, but I couldn't because I was only like 13 years old and I only had a limited amount of pocket money. I got so many awful games from that, like Quackerjack by Amsoft, Alex Higgins World Snooker, which is impossible on a green screen monitor, let me tell you. Literally impossible.
Yeah, Alex Higgins monochrome nightmare.
Yes.
And for those watching in monochrome, the green ball is behind the green ball. Brilliant.
With commentary by Alan Green.
No. Oh, yes, I've got Alan Green. Oh, I'm very slow on the uptake tonight, Harry. Oh, dear. Nightmare. Yes. Alan Green, yes. Alan Green doing the commentary on a green monochrome snooker game. And the soundtrack by Al Green.
Yes.
He actually sings the theme tune. I'm so tired of playing snooker on a monochrome screen.
And he's playing green sleeves. 147.
Yes, I can't think of any more green puns. Green trees, but we're now branching off into other puns now. So, yes.
You could say that we are relatively green to this because this is a brand new series of the RVG podcast.
We're back. We're doing a little thing for the podcast. We're going to be talking about the TV Boy by System-ayy. Yes.
That's a point. Is it System-ayy or Systema? Because I always pronounce it Systema because it's all one word.
Yes, it is. I'm having one of my Cayenne moments again, aren't I? But it's I always look at System-ayy. I always remember it being for sale in the Argos catalogue and just seeing it as System-ayy. But yeah, Systema.
It makes it. Was that Schwarzenegger again? Or was it Sly Stallone?
Systema. Yeah, it was it. Yeah. It's a TV Boy. It's a TV Boy 11 by Systema.
11. Well, it makes it sound a lot more exotic, doesn't it? Sistema, as if it's Italian or something, rather than System-ayy. It's just run out of some backwater in Wigan or something.
Yeah, the TV Boy 11, the other 10 were just brilliant, and the 11th one now has just come out. And
the TV Boy 11, is that a bad pub football team?
Yeah, who would go in goal? You could use some of the crap game names, perhaps. I don't know. We'll have a look into that. We'll see if we can build a TV Boy 11, and who would their first game be against?
That's an excellent idea. We should do that. We can get people to post their own TV Boy 11s in the forum.
Yes. We could have goalkeepers and everything like that, and forwards, centre forwards, and what other teams they'll play as well.
Yes, it's going to be like fantasy football with Badil and Skinner.
Yeah, well, I remember there was a show on BBC Radio 5, as it was then, and they did the thing about computers. I think Dominic Diamond actually presented it. I don't know if you remember that, but people used to go in. It used to be like a football-y, computer-y thing, and they used to send in their own fantasy 11s. So yeah, that would be quite good. But I don't remember the joke teams that used to be on the Sensible World of or Sensible Soccer, the joke sides. So you say of drive errors. Yes, your team of football team of drive errors. So like your goalkeeper was like Banana in Drive A. But whenever I do a quick Google search for it, it tends to focus on the drive errors. It doesn't focus on the rest of the terms that I'm searching for. So anybody listening out there who knows what I'm talking about and knows where I can find the list of joke teams, I need to know where they are. So yeah, comment that on the forum or tweet me.
Ah yes, joke football is a staple of international superstar soccer. Dave Seaman? Dave Seaman? Oh, my goodness.
It's David Beckham. He's going to pass it back to David Beckham, yes, and it's John Yates.
I actually know, in ISS he was called Duckham.
Yeah, and I had that for the Mega Drive, the International Superstar Soccer Deluxe. When you didn't do much, it had like a commentator on it, and he used to go into it and go, "When will they do something with the ball?" or something like that, and it was quite funny because it was always on the track, and like you'd be beating like Saudi Arabia like 11-0 or something like that, and the commentator just wouldn't be happy. So it was very good, but loved that game. Absolutely.
Looking back at the commentary in that game, it just seemed so ahead of its time. But all the commentator was saying was throw in, goal kick, goal. Those were the three things that he said. But we thought, oh, this is the height of technology. I remember seeing on, it might have been Games Master or something similar, a feature with Barry Davis doing the voiceovers for one of the FIFA games or the Actua Soccer series in about 96, 97, and they showed him recording the individual names of all the players. So like David Seaman, David Batty, Alan Shearer, etc. And I thought, wow, this is where we've progressed to. I must get that game. Because to me, a running commentary was the ultimate dream. And the first game I ever got that I was really impressed by in this sense was International Superstar Soccer 64. Because the commentary was totally non-stop. It was over the top, but it worked for some reason because he just chained these different comments, and sometimes they were about 5 minutes behind. So, and he's cleared it when somebody just scored.
So was that Peter Brackley? I'm sure it's Peter. I can't remember who did the commentary on the original ISSs as they were evolving. Was it? Did it sound like Peter Brackley? It used to sound like the guy that used to do the commentary for Channel 4 football when they had the Italian league.
I know who you mean.
So, yeah. Whether he's rent a voice and he just turns up everywhere, but yeah, it's always quite good. And I always liked when they scored, he used to play a bit of music and things. I've always been more of an you can't say you're more of an ISS fan these days. The CIA might come after me. But no, the International Superstar Soccer Deluxe was always my favourite soccer game because it was very similar to Tato's Football Champ, which was absolutely awesome in the arcades.
So, you want to enter the video game business? Well, my friend, you might have access to the world's finest coders, but you must beware the industry's greatest enemies. A. Time, and B. Money. Given an unlimited amount of A and the lack of pressure to generate B, a skilled coder, or team of coders, can theoretically create an arcade-perfect conversion of anything, even Dragon's Lair for the Sinclair ZX81. Such luxuries were rarely available in 1989, however. More likely, a small team of 2 to 3 programmers, none of whom would describe themselves as sprite artists, would have had less than a few months to port the latest arcade hit to a technically inferior home microcomputer. In essence, a coder was not judged solely on their ability to make an incredible game, rather their ability to create something acceptable in a given time frame. In any case, quality of product wasn't the highest priority, because no matter how bad the conversion might have been, the game's arcade reputation would always lead to massive sales. That's not to say Firebird's original Amstrad CPC port of Bubble Bobble was bad, just that, it could have been better. CNG Soft's 2011 remake, tidily abbreviated to BB4CPC, is a living embodiment of this fact.
Now, it is beginning of a fantastic story. Let's make a journey to the Cave of Monsters. Good luck.
It's that age-old problem. You and your bro have been transformed into cute buck-toothed dragons and cast into the colourful Cave of Monsters. Thankfully, you have been granted an infinite supply of saliva with which to entrap said fiends inside bubbles. Bubbles that turn their occupants to food products when burst. In this manner, you must eat your way through 100 levels of cake, sweets, and lollipops to reach the ultimate goal. Not tooth decay, but you and your brother's kidnapped girlfriends. And it's frustratingly addictive. Stages become more and more puzzle-like in the deeper dungeons, warranting careful strategy as opposed to blind bubble blowing. But you'll have to use quite a few 50p pieces to get that far. Or not, because we're playing the Amstrad CPC home conversions, remember? Presentation-wise, the 2011 version is a significant improvement. The dragons no longer look like elderly gentlemen with mohawks, while enemies now resemble actual living creatures, as opposed to vibrating clumps of ectoplasm. Another common disparagement is that the Firebird version lacked the arcade original's addictive soundtrack. Since I always used to play games on mute, with the football commentary playing on the radio, this isn't something I'd necessarily remove house points for. But the CNG Soft remake's faithful rendition of this chirpy, chipper earworm of a tune is as close as you're gonna get without actually stealing the arcade machine for your living room. In any instance, I'd suggest the option of music is better than nothing at all. Except maybe in the case of something like Clown Downtown for the Atari 2600, but Here's what the Firebird release of Bubble Bobble for the Amstrad CPC sounds like. Overall, the CNG Soft remake is a much more enjoyable experience. The questionable responsiveness, collision detection, and slowdown issues have been addressed, and it just feels more like the coin-gobbling arcade classic it was originally supposed to emulate. None of this is meant as a criticism of the 1989 Firebird release, which was obviously created under much greater restriction. Remember those core evils? Time and money? They were much more critical in the late 80s, when this technology was state-of-the-art and cost the equivalent of a 40-foot Victorious sponge cake to maintain on a daily basis. One must also remember that over 20 years of technical advancement separate the game's release dates, and we can now play Amstrad games on things like pocket calculators. In 2015, we all have the facility to make Amstrad CPC games on the toilet, if we so wish, since the tools are freely available and mobile ready. Well, maybe it isn't as easy as that. Video game development, much like life itself, is all about doing the best you can under the given circumstances. And on that basis, it is difficult to objectively say that one is actually better than the other. But I think you already know which one I'm going to go for. Sayonara.
I don't know if you ever played that, but Football Champ was just brilliant. It was still cartoony, but, you know, sort of like a good degree of realism there. Really enjoyed playing it. I mean, it was a quantum leap. The last one I played was Emlyn Hughes' Soccer, and then you're going on into sort of like Marvellous Technicolor in the arcades with Football Champ and Hat-Trick Hero. They were absolutely amazing. And when the Mega Drive had this International Superstar Soccer, it was for the first time I thought, yep, I've definitely got an arcade machine in my house.
Did you ever play the games where you would actually kick a real football and there would be a net and a cardboard cutout of a goalkeeper which moved from left to right, and it was hooked up to a screen, a video screen, and then you scored your penalty or whatever, and then it would show it in virtual reality at Camelot Theme Park, which I'm not sure exists anymore.
No, don't they run the lottery?
That's where they are now then.
I believe they run a round table somewhere for the knights to hang out as well. Yes, no, that's it. So, well, football games. I bet we don't have any on the TV Boy. The TV Boy. We don't have any on there. System-ayy.
Yes, bringing us back to the TV Boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing a bit of research on this console, or this thing, known as the TV Boy 11. And, allegedly, it is an unlicensed Atari 2600 emulator from the good nation of China that inexplicably saw a European release in the late 90s and 2000. It was stocked by Britain's largest catalogue company, you know, the one that's named after Odysseus's pet dog, for a limited period of time. Now, this amazes me, because these games are plainly copyrighted titles, Atari titles, such as Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogs and Flies, just with typically Chinese false names. And yes, all of those games are on this emulator. Oh, no! Put it away! No!
It's lovely, isn't it? Will you play this lovely game? It goes up to 1, 2, 6. I'll fade that out now. That's really good, isn't it?
Well, I guess this will be a good time to talk about the music on the TV Boy, because it's a bit hit and miss. It depends on how good the music was in the original games, but I have to say, some of them are absolutely awful.
Hit with a capital S, more like.
Would you like me to actually play a theme in inverted commas right now, from one of the
Yes,
games.
please.
Yes.
Yes.
I have my TV Boy plugged into my VCR, and I can load up game number 46, which is called Walker/Rambler, also known as Clown Downtown. Now let's turn this on.
Walker Texas Rambler.
Yeah. Can you hear that?
No, I could just hear your hi-fi just come on in the background there, playing some real high-quality music.
I think somebody's using a touch-tone phone. Hello? Is this 999?
Is that your 4-year-old nephew playing on his new keyboard he got for his birthday?
That noise you just heard was me dying because I never moved.
Oh, right.
And that low rumbling noise is because the batteries are running down. Right, there you go. That was the Atari Symphony.
That's very nice. I like that. Okay, so what other tune?
When you say nice, you mean horrible, don't you?
I do, but I'm being nice about it. Or am I being horrible?
You're being too nice. It's not as if they're going to come and track you down and kill you for this. The TV Boy producers.
The assassins from System-ayy TV Boy 11 are coming after you now. You have really pushed your luck this time, Sonny Jim. You have not paid your protection money to the Greek god of shopping, Argos. Right, okay, so that was... So have you found any gems on the TV Boy that you'd like to share with us? I do believe some of these have got some really interesting names.
Ah, yes. I think it's time to play a little game here. What do you say?
Game on. That's what I say.
Okay, guys, we're going to play a game of Can You Guess the Atari Title from the TV Boy Name? So I'm going to read out one of the TV Boy names, and Carl and you guys at home have to guess what the classic Atari title is. Now, don't worry, these are fairly well-known Atari titles, so I promise you'll have heard of them.
And being an Atari expert myself, you know, I'm just going to get them all right first time, and if you think I'm wrong, you're all wrong. Okay, go for it.
Right, okay, here's the first one. River Crossing.
River Crossing. Is it River Raid? Is it River Raid?
Good guess, but it's not right. Rivet.
Oh, it's something to do with frogs, isn't it?
Oh, can I tell you?
Yes, go for it.
People are shouting at the TV screens at home. It's Frogger.
Frogger. Oh,
Yes.
Right, excellent.
River Crossing is Frogger, but strangely, I believe on one of the other versions of the TV Boy, River Crossing is a completely different game altogether, so maybe some of the names were switched round. Anyway, would you like another one?
Yes, please.
Hamburger.
It's got to be something rather foodie.
Yes.
Is it
Begins with
is
an
it that
F.
chomp? Oh, it begins with an F.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's fast food.
Yes, he's correct.
Hey, nom nom.
Ding ding.
Ding ding. That's 1 point to me. Right, okay, yes.
Okay, let's speed these up a bit. Next,
Yes.
Tank Battle in the Streets.
Is it combat?
No, this is less well known. I just threw this one in there because it's one of my favorites. It's called Phantom Tank, but it went under various other names, I do believe, as tended to happen with these Atari 2600 titles.
Thunderground.
Ooh, what could that be? Is it Pac-Man?
No, that was Tank Battle. I think I've got on my list here, it's Tank Battle. Thunderground?
Ah, there is a Tank Battle as well, which is a completely different game. I think they just ran out of names. So that's a Tank Battle, and that's a Tank Battle in the Streets, so it's the follow-up to Tank Battle. Tank Battle, but in the streets.
I like game number 126. Can we go home now?
Really?
I've run out of names. Can we go home now?
We've got some more here. Forest Walk. What game is that?
Oh, that's easy. That's Pitfall.
Yes. Oh, you cheated though, didn't you? You're
No,
I
I know that one because it's got the blue forest on it. I've played it much on this version, but yeah, it's got a blue forest. I'm sure. What number is Forest Walk?
We can have a look right now. So people who are playing along at home.
Number 19.
Number 19. Yes.
No, 19. None of them received the Heroes Forest Walk.
And one more. Oh, you'll never guess this. You'll never guess this one. Okay.
Okay.
Pac-Mania.
Is it Gorf? Is it Space Invaders?
No, it's FIFA 2015.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think actually it's FIFA 76 with the ultra-realistic bats.
Yeah.
Yes, now with truly real graphics. Back when Seb Blatter was only serving a second term, I reckon.
We're going to come back to this a little bit later on because the Super TV Boy, rather, has completely different names. But I think I should fill you in on what the Super TV Boy is because we've got various different versions of the TV Boy. Of course, we're talking about the TV Boy 11 here. And there was a TV Boy 1 which had joystick support.
Yes, it certainly did. And I don't think they were available for very long in the UK.
Well, the TV Boy 2 superseded it. It's exactly the same, except it doesn't have a joystick port. And I believe Carl is a bit of an expert on modifying TV Boys because he's done it himself. He's going to fill you in on this, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, I am. Thank you very much, Dan. Yes, I acquired a TV Boy 2 and I opened it up because I was really trying to see if I could adapt it over from RF to like a composite out. I can't, but there is a print on the PCB for the joystick ports. So I nipped down to my local electronics shop and got some 90-degree angle deep sockets and soldered them to the board, and they do work. I've had to short a wire on the inside for the fire button to map correctly to the pins, but yeah, it was all there. It's just all waiting to be soldered on, but it just never was. So I've got TV Boy 2 with 2 joystick ports, as TV Boy 1 would have loved. So yeah, so that's my thing with that. But I couldn't find any technical data on changing it over to a composite out, although some models do have a link in them which can be removed or added to toggle them between NTSC and PAL on the motherboard. But I have not found one on any TV Boys that I've got my little mitts on. So whether that's just a thing that people have had, I'm not sure. But I know that in the French territories, they were released as well, and they may have a slightly different board. So there you go, that's me. So I'm actually using mine at the moment with a Sega, well, a pseudo Sega Mega Drive pad at the moment to operate the game, and that's working lovely, and it means I don't have to pick that thing up, so it's good.
Oh, so you're not a fan of the TV Boy control pad / system type thingy that's going on there, are you?
It's certainly very special, isn't it?
Not a fan. Actually, I don't mind it, really. It's fairly big and substantial. I don't mind big and substantial pads, but it's not too heavy, actually, because I have here my Xbox 360 controller, and comparing it directly to it, it actually weighs a little bit less, and it's marginally bigger, so there isn't much difference, really.
Oh, yeah, well, when you look at it that way, yeah. But when you look at, I've never been lucky enough to own a PC Engine, but a PC Engine would be about the size of a TV Boy anyway, I guess. So with your little Who cards and things like that, that would be pretty good. Oh, the other thing I've done with this, I soldered a green LED on it instead of the red one because I wanted to.
Oh, you're not a fan of red, are you?
Well, I'm a fan of green LEDs because I've got loads of them, and I didn't have any reds. So, and I'm a bit silly like that. I'm forever sort of changing things over. My Spectrum Plus 2's got a blue LED on it, and new ROMs because I wouldn't stop tinkering around with it, and I blew it up. So, but that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there any way to install new ROMs on the TV Boy 2? Have you tried it?
I haven't. No, the chip's actually hard, proper. It's not dual socketed onto the board, and you'd need to find a burner to do that. So I'd think it would probably be doable in a way. I was wondering if there'd be a way you could actually map a chip out of a cartridge and map that straight to the chip in a TV Boy, but I doubt that'd be as straightforward as I imagine, because you probably need some part on the chip to work to process the rest of the chip that's normally in the game. Okay. So I don't think you can on that, but yes, nice try.
I can understand that because it is quite old hardware. This was first released in the early 90s.
Yeah, it was released in the early 90s, and even back then I remember it being in the Argos catalogue and not buying it because it was rather dated. I mean, who would want an Atari 2600 when you could be playing on a Commodore 64 or an Atari ST or something like that? You know, it's just it was junk back in the day, wasn't it, really? It's I mean, we look back at it fondly now and kick ourselves that we never bought 10 of them, but they were junk and they were flogging a dead horse with this system.
Hi retro fans, well, I'm down in the conservatory in front of my record player at the moment. Bit of craft work going on. I don't think I'm going to get a PRS violation because I'm speaking over it. I'm down here because I want to tell you about a new thing that I've just been sent. Now, obviously, if you're into retro gaming, you could possibly be into a little bit of vinyl as well. Let's lift this up. There you go, like that. So you could be into a bit of vinyl as well. The veins of retro gaming and vinyl, they do meet in the middle there. So just imagine for one moment that you get sent through an LP, brand new LP, from Data Discs, and it's actually Streets of Rage LP. So I've just opened this up. Obviously, I'm not going to do a video for unboxing or anything in this because this is exclusive to the RVG podcast that I'm doing. So I'm just going to very carefully open this up. Now, opening this up straight away gives me real fond memories of vinyl back in the day. Wow, you know, it's got that tight plastic on it, which I'm opening up. That shrink wrap where you don't really want to do it. But my word, it's so much nicer already than a CD, isn't it? Because it's nice and big. The artwork on it's got a nice big red stripe down the side. I'll give the URL to it later so you'll be able to have a look and look for yourself. But it's got the old Japanese import style strip down the side, which you get if you've ever been, you know, getting some rare tunes from artists like British artists when they go abroad. They have this nice band down the side, and that's here now. And the artwork's Streets of Rage. It's got in Japanese underneath. The original soundtrack to the classic Sega game, fully remastered in collaboration with the legendary composer Yuzo Koshiro. It's an 180-gram vinyl with two lithographic prints featuring the original artwork from the Sega archives. And wow, so I'm just bringing this out now. Can you hear that? Ah, the smell. Lovely. So we've got some lovely prints there. The main characters in the game. But this is the bit I'm after. I've got a black inlay sleeve right in front of me now. And wow, that is lovely. Oh my god, it's a red vinyl. Very nice. That's absolutely brilliant. So, let's stick this on and we'll see what we'll do. We'll start this side, eh? Do a quick potted review for you because obviously, you know, I can't do the whole thing. Right, let me get craft work off. Should be more glad you're not watching this and glad you're only listening. Hope you can pick me up. Wow, red vinyl. It's almost like my Roll Swindle picture disc that I used to have when I was younger. Now let's see, is it an EP at 45? Is it an LP at 33? Doesn't say. Shall we just take a chance? I reckon it's a 33. A little bit slow this because of the belt drive and all that on the thing. Let's see. Here we go. That sound quality. I don't suppose it's going to really come across really nicely, but for the first time in a long time I'm using the disc with no scratches in it. So it's lovely, it's just gliding right across. Very bassy. Let's knock that bass down. Very nice. So this is track 1. The Streets of Rage. So really, it's not that bad, is it? Lovely. That's really good. So you can get this, you can buy this from their website. I'll supply the URL later. There's an 002 in the range as well. And that's Shenmue. And with this you get the a little envelope with little cards in it as well, with some more artwork. Bongo, Antonio, and the gang in there, and absolutely brilliant. Really bringing back memories of sitting down and listening to music with the artwork in your hands. And like I say, it's the perfect ven, isn't it, of retro gamers playing on the LP as well, and exactly the same as playing with your video game is the fact that you can emulate it and it can be done on something else, but it's just not the same. The same as listening to music on an LP. I don't think this will be the same with a CD. I'll certainly be watching it spin round and round melodically. But wow, this shade of red on this vinyl is absolutely unbelievable. I really didn't expect to see that when I opened it up. So thanks very much to Data Discs for sending it through for evaluation, and I can only heartily recommend it. Go and check their website out, and I think they're now available for people to either pre-order or to get straight away. So that's enough of me for a bit. Shall we let this one play out? Okay, and I'm just so impressed with this disc. I've just thought I'd just do another quick recording here. If anyone, I thought I'd just play something off a side B for you as well. And this one is Stealthy Steps. This is track B2 off of the Streets of Rage red vinyl. Listening to the Streets of Rage soundtrack on RVG. Say something just to stop people recording it. Keep it RVG. There you go. So thanks very much again to Data Discs, and back to me and everybody else in the main podcast.
Be under no illusion about it. It was rubbish, and I don't know how many they actually sold. But look back now, and you can really see the playability of the games. But that's always happens, doesn't it?
Well, this leads us on perfectly to the other versions of the TV Boy, which are steaming piles of poop, as those YouTube Let's Players might say. Because whereas this is just a controller and all the insides are built into the controller, oh my goodness, they released some console versions. Yes, this is the cheapest piece of plastic that you've ever seen. It's like a kid's rip-off Transformers toy. It really is that bad. We've got the Super TV Boy, which is, in my opinion, not half as good as the TV Boy 1 and 2. It looks cheap, is basically what I'm saying.
So you're saying under the auspices of the Sales Are Good Act, it's not really super at all, Dan?
No, not at all. But there is also the TV Boy 3. Ooh, this is very, very rare indeed. And that's not just eBay rare we're talking about here. This is actual rare.
It's not look rare, it's really rare.
LQQ rare.
L at K
Yes.
rare.
And this one is a PlayStation-style controller. The front panel is partially transparent, so you can see all the insides.
Ooh, very nice. And what games does that have? I guess the PlayStation, I guess that has Tomb Raider on it, and Rapper the Rapper, and actual soccer, I guess. A bit of bib ribbon, perhaps, no?
More like Donkey Kong and golf and hockey.
Or Conky Dong.
Conky Dong.
Conky Dong.
Yes. Oh, you brought that up again. I have some more. These are the Super TV Boy names of the classic Atari games. Yes, this is part 2 of our little quiz. Are you ready for this again? I think these are more humorous in a way. So, which game is Tomboy?
Tomboy. Oh, I don't know. What you have to do in it?
You're never going to guess. So I'll give you a clue.
Yes.
It's already been mentioned, and it might have already been the answer to one of the previous questions.
Oh dear! No, now you put me on the spot. Was I paying attention? Was it? No, I'll give up. Go for it.
Tomboy is Pitfall.
No, but we've just had Pitfall Forest Walk.
Yes, but this is the Super TV Boy. It's super with super names.
Has anyone done Pitfall too? I guess because the music's far too good, isn't it?
The next one, Super TV Boy title by the name of Teeth Brush.
Teeth Brush. It's not Chomper or something like that, is it?
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker. Yeah, lad, come and buy one of these Jawbreakers for 20p. No, I'd rather just Teeth Brush.
Ah, very good, yes.
This next one's going to confuse you. The game that's known as Dig Dug on the Super TV Boy is actually what?
Don't Get Buried.
No, it's actually the Atari classic Gopher. The one where you're a farmer and you have to move around your farm and smash gophers with your fork thingy.
What have they got against the game of golf?
Golf?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's trying to smash golfers in. I don't understand why that is.
Golfer.
Bang out of order. Let's see, what's Tiger Woods ever done to him? I don't know. So you got to smash the golfer up. Yes, it's very good. This I'm now actually just playing Forest Walk on mine.
Oh, you mean Tomboy?
Oh yes, I've just jumped the hole. I've gone in the pink pit with the crocodiles.
Ah, that's a good point, because the TV Boy's colours aren't exactly correct, shall we say. This is not a deliberate change, rather an issue with the emulation conversion on PAL televisions. It's our old enemy, the NTSC.
Yes, I think you'd be right there. No two same colours, and the enemy of teletext, strike again.
Other modifications include some sprites have been modified slightly, and the original developer logos have been removed completely.
Yes, on this Forest Walk, we are missing the Activision logo down in the bottom. Yeah, so
yes.
They're not kidding. They're absolutely right about that. Nobody's making that up.
Yes. Well, maybe all the members of the Activision development team died in a horrible accident, thus relinquishing the copyright to the games.
They did. That's an Atari fact.
Hashtag Atari facts.
Yeah, we'll get that going. I think everybody would love to hear more Atari facts. I've just dumped the pit. Oh, yes.
Hashtag Atari facts.
So how much do these sort of fetch on eBay at the moment then? Have we had a look to see what you can pick one up for, a TV Boy 11? Should you want one?
I have indeed. I believe it cost about £25 new from Argos, But I paid £15 for mine, which is slightly over the odds, and it was about 5 years ago. I needed one quickly for one reason or other. But we can actually go on eBay right now and have a look how much they are going for to this day. So if you'll bear with me 1 second. The System-ayy TV Boy 2 plug-in console tested. Buy it now for £63.99. No,
How much pounds and 99? What?
£63.99.
You are kidding me.
No, it doesn't usually go for that. That's some idiot. Right, here's a more reasonable one.
Unless they're listening to the RVG podcast, of course, then they're not idiots. But they do need to take a reality check, though.
The Super TV Boy is fairly expensive, though. I do know that. This one's going for £55, and the regular TV Boy, this looks to be a TV Boy 2, is going for £15. Buy it now.
Oh, 15, buy it now.
And that's round about what it usually goes for.
I think I've probably devalued mine by sticking joystick ports on it.
Oh, no.
Could be mega rare, I guess.
Hey, look, I found something else here. A Gakken TV Boy console system import from Japan. And it looks like, it's got a phone. This looks awesome. It looks like the Japanese version of the cheap crap that we got in this country. It's like you got the Chinese knockoff stuff on one hand, then you've got the proper upmarket pirate stuff in Japan.
Should we get one of them for?
$699.
Wow, that's a snip. That's a snip. All your exchange rates all knackered on your eBay. God, who'd pay that for that? It's got to be mega rare, isn't it?
So, how are you doing on Tomboy over there then, Carl?
Well, I've got 1971 points at the moment, and I'm trying to get across the pink lake with the crocodiles, and I've died again, so I'll start again.
Well, Carl, do you think this might be a good time to come to the summary of this console, the pros and the cons?
What have you got in summary then? What would you say about it? Good console, bad console, indifferent?
I think in all, I love this system. It's obviously got its flaws, but as with anything, you learn to live with them because you've got access to all these classic games. I mean, it is a cheap piece of crap, as I said, but it's a cheap piece of crap that I love. We've got the pros and cons, though, in case you're thinking about, you're on the fence about whether to get a TV Boy, about whether to go out there and spend £69.
I don't need to think that long about that, yes, but what if I was on the verge of taking the plunge? Please enlighten me, Dan.
Right. Shall we go through the pros or the cons first? Let's go through the pros. There are 127 classic Atari games. Now, I believe this is more than the next best-selling Atari emulator. And I've forgotten what that's called. Is that called the... Flashback,
yes.
Flashback. That is way more than the Atari Flashback, so that's a positive. Yes. Quick loading.
It's very quick loading.
A simple game selection interface, fair enough. Easily accessible reset button and switches. Now, the Atari, as you know, the original Atari, had these on the console, but the TV Boy has them on the control pad. So you don't have to get up out of your seat and go and press buttons.
You really are a glass half full guy, aren't you, Dan?
Well, we're coming to the cons in a minute. We've not gotten to them. Finally, for the pros, it doesn't look awful, and it's relatively comfortable to hold. At least I think so. Now, the cons, I'm sure Carl will echo many of these, and I've actually got quite a few cons.
How long have you got?
The main thing is, and you've got to watch out for this, it's not 100% compatible with modern televisions. Now, my flat screen, it works fine, but there is some strange feedback on the left-hand side of the screen, as if there were a magnet attached to the side or something. Now, you can put up with this, but if you run it through, say, a VCR, you can override these things. I mean, I do it with mine, and it looks absolutely fine. But other TVs may render it completely differently. Certain games, such as Pac-Man, won't output properly at all. For example, my Honest-Tech VHS video card freezes on the menu screen when you try to load one of these games, but it does regain composure when you reset. as we've already discussed, with the TV Boy 2, there is no joystick/second controller support unless you mod it yourself, which Carl's talked about a bit.
Yes, that's all detailed on my blog, so you'll be able to find pictures and words pertaining to that. And if you did want to do it, then go for it. You're not going to damage it if you get it wrong. Just desolder it and just forget you even tried it. The only thing you've got to do is really cut through the case with a file and a hacksaw. Then after that, you're all set to go. You're in gaming heaven for another 10 minutes.
You've got to cut through the case. It looks like
Yes.
there are screws. Couldn't you just unscrew the back?
No, you have to cut a hole in the case to get the joystick port through.
I see.
The joystick plug into it. So you have to cut the casing out. Yes.
Okay,
But-
fair enough.
Yeah. Yes. But
Before you mod it, the same control pad controls both players in the two-player games, which is really rather interesting.
I think
Yeah.
mine still does that frog game. Yeah, I think that does actually do that on that. So you probably just do better off doing one player on the mod and not two, like what I did.
Yes.
Actually, come to think of it, you've reminded me. So that's like a pro con, because it's like a con, but it's a pro because it's telling other people not to be so mad as in to put two joystick ports on there because it's a waste of time.
No, it's a con with benefits. Some more cons then, that definitely aren't cons with benefits. Control pad buttons can be a little bit clunky, especially if you're used to an Atari joystick. And I have a few more cons, but I'm just going to wrap off by saying the tune on the game selection screen is bloody awful. That's what I've written here. And that's the major
I
con
don't
of the
know.
whole system.
I don't know what you mean. It's brilliant. Do 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 do. Play this game and play it some more.
I would love to see Video Games Live do that. Oh,
Yes.
the orchestral treatment.
We get that on an LP from Data Discs as well. There's like a big LP. Dun, 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 dun. I like taking the mickey out of it, but it is nice. It's an important part of history. And when everything came from China back in the 90s, they were really beginning to get it with these things. They were imitating technology that was made in the West at the very early 80s and the late 70s in the 90s. But now when you look, they've caught up to the extent where you can get easily tricked into buying what you think's an Apple product when it's actually been made in China and not even seen a real Steve Jobs. Or they're sort of like doing Nintendo DSs, as I was once caught out on. I bought a Nintendo DS off of the internet thinking it was just at a good price, but it came all the way from China. So in the space of time that it took them to flog the System-ayy TV Boy 11 in Argos in 1995 to where we are now, it hasn't taken them long actually to become so technologically advanced that they can more or less innovate stuff if they choose to.
Yes, it should be noted that the TV Boy 2 actually does have 126 games, and they all work. They are slightly modified, but they are definitely recognizable and as playable as the original Atari games. If you look at a lot of those systems that those cheap pirates are releasing these days, like the pop stations, Nintendo DS-shaped things, the only games that they contain are LCD abominations from the early 90s. The same LCD games that they were selling on Tiger handhelds. And they were awful back then.
Yes, I remember I had the Double Dragon Tiger handheld. That was kind of awful, but I wish I kept it. But I took that apart to see how it worked as well, unfortunately.
Well, you say unfortunately, but I'd rather do that because I don't think I'd ever want to play one of those things again. So you might as well open it up, see what's inside, and kill the thing.
Yeah, bits was the answer. Bits was inside it. So, I mean, I'd rate the... what would I rate the TV Boy? Well, I'd rate it 11, I think. Yeah, 11 out of 10 for being sort of cheap and nasty, but it's a good addition to anybody's retro collection. And all joking aside, if you've got an Atari 2600 Woody, but you don't want to keep getting it out, the TV Boy, if you can put up with the difference in colours, is all right because you get your Atari fix, you get it using 4 AA batteries, and it's pick up and go gaming. And you don't have to get all your old Atari out and split the box open and all that if you're lucky enough to have one. If you're an Atari fan, you must have one at some point, but do yourself a favour, don't spend 65 bloody quid on one.
Seconded. And you brought up a point about power there. It does run on 4 AA batteries, and that will last you approximately 7 or 8 hours, depending how large you've got the TV.
Well,
However,
mine's lasted me 4 years, but I haven't turned it on.
I do believe some versions, maybe even the TV Boy 2, have RC cables.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that I've looked for that. I don't have one. I don't suppose it would work. It wouldn't. You could put one on. Because that's, let me see, was that 1.5, 3, so it's 6 volts it needs. You could more or less run it off a USB supply, providing that the milliamps sort of marries up with it. But I'll put a health warning on that because your miles may vary, so I'm not going to tell you that that's easy to do. I wouldn't want you to buy one off eBay for $69.99 and try and put a USB power supply on it because you won't come and find me, that's for sure. Because I'm not going to recommend that at all.
Yeah, so don't do it.
Don't do it, guys.
Don't do it, not least because the Chinese pirates will track you down and kill you.
I'm actually still trying to jump this pink pit. I'm not doing very well at this. If anyone's actually recording this, you'd see that it's taken me about 7 hours to get this far. I'm going to jump this pit, and then my TV Boy 11's going to run out of batteries. I think I'm pleased I've got one. And there are a lot of games to play on it. But I think I'd just be playing Forest Walk all the time on mine. I haven't even found Pac-Man yet. Let's try and find... What number's Pac-Man?
It's a game about ninjas. I guess that's kind of cool. And the controls are alright, I guess. I mean, there's only one button and you can move. That's about it. I seem to be winning, though. Yeah, I think I've won. And the background, the graphics are okay for 1986, I guess, but you know. Background to it, it's got like a mountain and then a tower and some bushes and a pond and then like this gateway thing and like this guy sitting there watching. So yeah. But I'm a ninja with a black robe on, and then I'm against a ninja with a white robe on. And I just got killed. To be honest, this game's alright. Like £7 when it came out, but oh, now we're in a different background. This karate thing. There's like a man sitting there. And the music, the soundtrack's okay, but there's only one sound effect, and that is the punching sound. Like that. There's a few moves, but they're not all that great. I'm only using one at the moment, and that's a duck kick. Where you like crouch down and kick them. The graphics are okay, like I said. They're 1986. Can't really say anything. Now we're in a different background. We're outside, which I'm taking. We're outside of the karate place that we were just in, and then like over there is where we were in the first stage. Over at the back. And the controls are really messed up because I keep trying to do the duck kick thing, but I keep doing a backflip, so they could have improved the controls of it, but the moving actions and one button. I guess that it's okay. I mean, it's a game about ninjas. It was okay at the time, I think. Okay, we're starting again apparently. It's like the first one to get the other person on the ground, I think, and that's why I'm using the duck kick. But sometimes it does it like the opposite way that I want it to do it, and it's really annoying. But yeah, it's pretty much all there is to this game, apart from ninjas moving and kicking and one sound effect. Different backgrounds. I don't think you can ever move on from this background. It's kind of annoying. It's like to get 4 wins in a row and then you move on to the next one. Yeah, we're back in the karate place. Yes, I got him down. Then the AI isn't all that good. sometimes it just stays still, like it's broken, like it's annoying. And then they'll just suddenly come back to life, pose, and kick you in the face, and you'll fall to the ground and die. Like, now we're back outside again. How confusing is this game? The point of going inside for one game if you're going to come back outside again, unless it was a bug, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because this game is just terrible. Well, actually, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I'd say it's good for its time. Do you ever move on from this game? I mean, I am losing now. I was doing really good. Now we're outside again. And I think that's the game, because now it's doing an automated demo. So, yeah, that was this game? I don't know what it's called. I think it's like Ninja Rally or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've never done one of these before, but yeah. Thank you for listening to my review on this game, I think. Bye!
It's near the beginning, and it is number 3.
Oh, number 3. Oh, I've got it. Yes, here we go. Oh, it's brilliant. I like the way the ghosts are flickering at me. It's exactly like the Atari 2600.
So what do you think of the Atari version of Pac-Man? Do you think it's bad, good?
It's easier to play than the arcade version, but I do remember going around my chums when he had this, and I don't know, what can I say? It's awful, isn't it, really?
I don't know.
It is awful.
I think I prefer the arcade version, because for some reason you can play that one-handed. Don't ask me how I learned that, but it's very hard to play the TV Boy one-handed.
Oh, crumbs, yeah, I can see what you mean. That's not easy.
It's because of the shape of the TV Boy, I think. But if you're playing with a joystick, it's far, far easier. Maybe we shouldn't make this comparison without actually playing it with the Atari joystick first. But certainly, comparing the TV Boy directly to the arcade wins every time, I believe.
Yeah.
It's still Pac-Man. If you've got both your hands, it's still Pac-Man. It's still fun. This was my first experience of Pac-Man, round at a mate's house. It must have been mid-90s, actually. So quite late, maybe 10 or 15 years after the Atari 2600 came out.
Were you drinking a can of Squirt then?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But I'd never seen an Atari before. I had no idea what they were. By then, I had a Super Nintendo.
Oh, yes, I see. So that was quite an education then, to see something a little bit more primitive with regards to the Atari, because you had the wood panel effects and all that on the front. Did you go for the Junior? Did you have the Junior model, the remarketed Junior model?
I think it was the regular one. But I must admit that I've always thought the classic Atari looks better than a lot of the modern consoles. For example, the US version of the SNES is awful. So anything can beat that. But marginally, I think it does beat the PAL SNES as well in terms of looks.
Yeah. I do like the 2600, the way that it's styling, the wood grain top styling. It's based on, well, a lot of people say it alludes to German weapons technology of the Second World War. I don't know what the citation is for that, but I've often seen that referred to that in gaming articles. You know, it seems to be stylized on something from that era, but I'm not too sure. Maybe they're trying to say it looks like some sort of Enigma machine, but it doesn't look like any Enigma machine that I've ever seen. I've read it in a Retro Gamer article, I think, on the 2600, and they did say, it's based on weapons technology somewhere along the lines.
I was going to say, I once applied to work at Retro Gamer. They never got back to me.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh.
In fact, I might have applied twice. It's so long.
Yes. How long ago was that? Was that when it was Imagine Publishing and all that, or is that like when it's been run by two publishing companies, isn't it? I think the latest one's Imagine, obviously, but I don't know who it was before that. They used to make some really good articles back then. Yeah, not dissing what they do now, but I think obviously because it's stayed as a constant staple, it must get harder and harder to find new things to talk about, you know, in a new way when it comes to retro gaming. And I think they're going to hit that quandary soon of they start including the millennial consoles, you know, like the PlayStation 2 and things like that. That will come up for debate more and more often now.
Well, yes, that is true. The farther you go through time, the more consoles fall into the category of retro.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can see that the PlayStation 2 could come in as retro, but I'm not going to sort of go into having a heavy forum debate with anyone about it. I mean, you either think it will or it won't, really, I guess. But I like the PlayStation 2. That was the last console I ever liked. Everything else I've just really despised after that. But I guess that's because I'm just an old curmudgeon, Dan, you know.
Well, I'm not sure I liked the PlayStation 2 objectively. It looks awful, I have to say that. I have the silver version, which is quite cool. But no, it looks slightly tacky. That looks really, really 2000s, but not good 2000s, bad 2000s. Whereas you look at the Atari and it just looks retro and cool. But this just
you
looks...
look at it and it just reminds you of the Iraq War or something like that. Yeah. It's awful. All the bad things about the naughty. Yes, well, I have a black one here next to me at the moment. It's on my wall. I've wall mounted it because it doesn't take up any space that way. So yeah, I do have one of them here, and that's got the AV port on this monitor that I'm using at the moment for the TV Boy 11 experience.
So you've wall mounted it like a trophy, like an animal that you've gone and killed.
Yes, I have. Yes, I found it in the wild. I crept up on it and shot it up the backside, and then had its head mounted on the wall. And I play a Res and Ico and Shadow of the Colossus on it. I bought it as a retro gaming console, believe it or not, because it was before I had my hands on a PC with MAME. So I've got the Midway Arcade Treasures, Atari Anthology, the Activision Anthology, Capcom Classics 1 and 2, Namco Museum 50, and both the Potato Legends, because I wanted to play Bubble Bobble on it with the missus, and that was the motivation of getting a PlayStation 2. It was emulating a lot of titles because it was using DVD rather than CD technology. You didn't have to keep jabbing in loads of discs, because I got the... For the PlayStation 1, I got Capcom Generations and stuff, and that's got the exceedingly difficult Ghosts and Goblins on it, and Xevious and things like that. So that's what I really bought mine for. It was for retro gaming, really. So I'll never let go of it because it's got some really nice bits on there. And although I've got a machine with MAME on it, I just love the form factor of the PlayStation 2. It's just really nice.
And another good thing about the PlayStation 2 is it encompasses the libraries of two separate consoles, two pretty big and successful consoles. You've got the PlayStation 1 library, probably over 1,000 games, maybe even more, and the PS2, which has probably got even 5 times that amount.
Yeah, most of them FIFA.
FIFA 97, yes. FIFA 97 transfer window update. FIFA 97, we made some mistakes in the previous edition, so let's put another version out with a new footballer on the front. And FIFA 98.
Yeah, they could release 2 versions of the Qatar World Cup, the one where they get it and the one where they don't, Dan. So that'd be quite good. But what I like about the PlayStation 2 over the TV Boy is that it's clearly a 2 and not an 11. You know, that's where Sony got it right and System-ayy got it wrong. You know, they should stop using Roman numerals. If they're going to stop at 2, don't start using Roman numerals.
Yes. Just think, though, if it weren't for that, the TV Boy 11 would be the perfect system. Nobody would ever need anything else ever again. You could get one of these and throw all your other stuff away.
Well, unless some daft old brush like me would do a podcast and say, oh, yeah, it's called the TV Boys. You know, looking at the 2 the wrong way around and thinking it's a Z. So that's a problem, isn't it? It's a System-ayy TV Boy. And your free gift for today is a classic type-in for the ZX81 that was released issue 5 in December 1982 of ZX Computing by Dilwyn Jones, a game that's probably quicker to type in than it would be to load on tape. So here's your free gift. Get your ZX81s that are ready and we'll type this in. Crasher. 10. Let x equal 10. 20. Let y equal 10. 30. Let s equal 0. 40. Let f equal s.
50, let f equal f plus 1. 60, print at 20, comma, int, open bracket, rnd, obisc 20, close bracket, semicolon, chr string, open bracket, int, open bracket, rnd, obisc 63 plus 1, close bracket, plus open bracket 128, and rnd, open bracket, decimal 2, close bracket, semicolon, at y, comma, x, semicolon, quotation mark, space, quotation mark. 70, scroll. 80, let x equal x plus open bracket, in key strings equals quote mark 8, quote mark, and x less than or 1, 9, close bracket, minus open bracket, in key strings equals quote mark 5, quote mark, and x more than 0, close bracket. 90, print at y, comma, x, semicolon, quote mark, v, quote mark, semicolon, at y plus 1, comma, x, semicolon. 100, let p equals pig, open bracket, pig, 16398 plus 256, obvious, pig, 16399, close bracket. 110, if p is less than 64, then let s equal s plus pig, 120, if f is less than 100, then go to 50, 130, print s, enjoy.